Hi, my name is Alana Bergdoll, and the research topic slash term paper um, option that I decided to use and write about was the one on whether the benefits and advantages that all men receive in today's society is truly worth the cost that males deal with in order to obtain such advantages. So, I wanted to say that I titled my research paper "The Privilege of Being a Man in Today's Society." So, my thesis for this topic is: despite the challenges and unfairness linked to male privilege, this essay argues that the advantages men enjoy are usually greater than women, prompting a closer look at how we view privilege and its effects in today's world. So, I basically wanted to analyze basically what men's benefits truly are in society. I feel like a lot of us typically know, but I decided to kind of have a deeper look in things. And so I started off talking about males' roles compared to women's roles and basically going back in time, how men were the ones who worked in the household. They were the ones that typically did very like hard or like laborious jobs, anything to make money and bring it home once they were done with their work shift. They were the ones that provided for the family. They were looked as the strength of the family. Meanwhile, the females were the ones who just took care of the household. They cleaned, they did laundry, they cooked, they took care of the kids. Anything that had to deal with that was considered like a feminist task. Men would not clean, men would not cook. They would just think that their women would do it for them. And because back in the day, women were not allowed to work. So the only way to really make money would be to, marry a man and, you know, get money through that way. Of course, society has come a very long way because now women are allowed to work, we're allowed to buy houses, we're allowed to have a bank account. We can basically do everything on our own, which is wonderful and great because back in the day, women needed men in order to even do such tasks that we are now allowed to do, which is so mind blowing. So basically, starting off back in time allowed such stereotypes to create what's going on now, which is like hegemonic masculinity, where men are in such high levels, such high positions, and women are just below them. And this stereotype just continues on, and it is still occurring in today's society. Like I said, it's not as severe, but it's still there, which is why, most of our Congress are all like typically men. And we still have not had a female president. Of course, our vice president is a female, and that's a huge step in recent times. And I'm sure that one day we will have a female president. So it's great that we are pushing past those certain, stereotypes that occur because typically males are viewed as ones that are like the boss. They're typically the CEO, and they view women as people who are like their assistant or like the receptionist, which is not really the case as much anymore, but most people would assume that when you're referring to a firefighter or a police officer that that person is a male when women can now do those jobs. But same thing for like being a teacher or a nurse, things of that sort is like typically women jobs is what people would say. So in my essay, I decided to use the Barbie movie, which was released in 2023, I think around summertime. Essentially, the Barbie movie likes to really shine light on all of the patriarchy, problems that we have because it starts off as Barbie's world and Barbie runs it and all females run it and it's all positive and whatnot, and then kind of shifts and then it becomes like Ken's world and it's all men, doing their thing and being bros and things of that sort, and then they start running things and it kind of tears things apart and it pushes the women out. And it kind of was highlighting how most positions are male, as I spoke on, because Mattel, which is the brand who creates Barbie, when Barbie made it to the real world, she walked into the office and every single one person in the office was a white male nonetheless. And it's crazy because it's supposed to be a Barbie doll, you know, supposed to, you would think, be made by women, but in that case it was not. So that movie was a great source for me to use to speak on the issues in today's society because it really highlighted such issues that we have. I also used Terrence, I think that's how you say it, Terrence List, to talk about some of the privileges that males have. And I know that some of them aren't very severe, but they still are things that males benefit from. For instance, like walking alone at night. Like, if I were to just walk down the road at night, I mean, I would most definitely be scared, but I always see males do that. They ride their bikes, they walk, whatever, whatnot. I mean, going to the gas station and pumping your gas at night. I mean, males are able to do such things without as much of a concern compared to women. So that's also a list of what I talked about. I also talked about how kind of toxic relationship wise males are because they expect women to be like so pure and, you know, speaking on like body count, like women are supposed to, you know, not really sleep with anyone and whatnot. And reality, anybody could do whatever they want, but males want like their females to like never sleep with anyone or maybe like one or two people, but then in reality what they're doing is they're just sleeping with like 100 people, and like they're supposed to seem cool like that, but if girls do it they're considered like a slut or things of that sort. So that's a huge thing in society that we currently have, which I believe is an issue, and we shouldn't just allow one gender to do whatever they want and then just assume that if the other gender does the same thing it's wrong, because that's very wrong. It's very hypocritical, honestly. So I decided to shed light on that as well. And then the cost, to speak on the cost now that males deal with, I decided to look into the jobs and things that males do. And a lot of the times, males are the ones to take more laborious jobs that put themselves potentially at danger. You know, they're doing jobs where they can either really hurt themselves or potentially die. Most of the time, females don't sign up for them, but I mean, there are people that do, but most of those jobs are taken on by men. And they could be really hard. I mean, you're risking your life every day, so that's definitely a negative, as well as most men have this like emotion barrier in their head where they are afraid to truly express themselves, and that is why most of our suicides are done by males. Sadly enough, males, you know, typically try to keep their emotions inside because even when they're young they try to teach them that like don't cry, crying is for babies, crying is like weakness and things of that sort, and you get made fun of even when you grow older. Like, for instance, if you're in middle school and you're like a middle school boy and you're crying, like other people will like make fun of you for that. Meanwhile, like if girls cry, it's kind of just part of our stereotype. Like it's supposed to be like norm, like we're so emotional, which is kind of messed up. I mean, we should allow men to have their feelings and express them because it would really prevent such depression and things of that sort. So that's their biggest cost, honestly, is battling depression and suicide from keeping in all of these negative thoughts and never letting them out because they typically don't seek much help. So I would say if that is the cost, it all will depend on what you think on whether that outweighs the benefits or the benefit, whatever one, vice versa. For me, I just think that it's hard to really pick a side because it is just such a difficult thing to analyze and look into, because I wouldn't want people to be depressed and have suicidal thoughts and want to commit suicide. But I mean, the benefits that they obviously have, it would be wonderful if women can even get nearly the same. But yeah, so thank you all for if you did watch my video. And if you have any questions, definitely ask me and hopefully I can answer them for you. Bye.